We are live. Okay, so let's make sure the backdrop. I'm trying to still figure this part out. I'd like it to get a little bit bigger so we can see the full backdrop. But well, welcome in everybody. Quick announcement. So I'm probably this will be my last Sunday live in the evening. I'm gonna be changing things up in March. I will be going live from the casino probably either the 28th or the 1st, just sort of have to see what's going on family wise as far as some stuff going on. I don't think I'll be able to go live over at Hollywood. It may take a little bit more time for them to process my paperwork to be able to get in there and go live and film. So if not, I'll probably be heading up to the Cleveland area, either Northbridge Park, which is an MGM property, at least for now. They got bought out by a private equity group. So I don't know if they'll stay MGM or what, but they did tell me from now on, at least through this spring, they will still honor the same MGM rewards card. And they still will be extremely friendly for video and live streaming. Or I'll be going to the Jack's Thistledown, which I've had a couple lives from there before. Just sort of depends. I do know that the new MGM Northbridge does have some of the newer games. They have a new piggy banking game that has a wheel. So I've never seen that one before, and I kind of want to try it out. So I may end up going there. They're a little bit more busy. So I may still go over to Jack Thistledown just because if there's all those people on the Wi-Fi, it could cause the filming to be really, really choppy, which is something that I saw at Thistledown when I was going live inside the smoking room. That area is encased in steel, so I would be saying something and talking and playing, and it would take about 2 or 3 minutes for the live chat to catch up to where I was. So I couldn't really answer questions. Kind of evolving, but what I think I'm going to be doing is starting in March after that live stream is I will be going live on Sundays as well, but I'll probably be doing something around 10 o'clock in the morning. Just so that way I figure there are some other viewers I have that are in other countries. So it might be nice to sort of get some of them in the lives and the chats and not later on. Also, I also thought Sunday, you go early enough in the morning, you'll catch people before they go to the casino. So that way, if they have questions on a new game that just came out that maybe they saw me play before, if they have suggestions on, hey, what game should I play? I like to play this type of volatility. I like to play reels or video. I like to play such and such type of games with a bonus. What would you suggest? And then I can tell them my opinion on what might be a good game for them to play. So those will be some of the new things coming out. I did enjoy the Sunday lives here at night just because it was more convenient for me. But I thought I'd try to move a little bit earlier on Sundays so I could be more convenient and more accessible to more people. Just because I did notice the trend was 4 or 5 people will watch. We'll get a couple people commenting here and there, but I saw my analytics that the bulk of my views later on, I get 25, 30, 40 views later, they were from other countries or they were from other time zones. So I kind of want to make it a little more inclusive. The whole point of this live for 30, 40 minutes was just to answer questions, talk about things, and then just sort of, if they have questions, I can highlight their chats, bring it up, and we can talk. So those are kind of the new things going on. Quick recap. Went to the casino this morning. Went there about 6 a.m. That's because I went last night on Saturday and didn't really do too well because the games I wanted to play, there was like 4 or 5 brand new games from Blueberry that just came out. They looked beautiful. They're all Konami games. Really wanted to play them, but they were so busy you just couldn't get on a machine. Like you would sit down and play for a few minutes on a machine and get up. You see someone getting up. By the time you got there, someone else sat down, and they just kept feeding money into the machine over and over again, and they wouldn't get up. So decided to go around 6, which is usually my optimum playing time. That's what I try to do in Vegas. I'm usually up by 4:30, take a shower, grab something to eat, hit the casino floor no later than 5 a.m., and then just walk the floor, look for those machines I wanted to play the night before. just because there's more of a chance of nobody being there. So I don't play that time because I'm more likely to win. Now, again, conversely, that's usually when I do win money or I do pretty good on the bonuses. But again, that's not because of the time I'm playing. That has anything to do with the machines. It's just because there's no one else there. So, other thing I wanted to sort of bring up is sort of, I have been getting comments and questions on past videos where some people have asked, this looks like something I'd like to try, as far as a channel, and things like that. And I would have to strongly urge not to do that. Again, not because, the space is already crowded with enough people to do this, but it's really, really hard to do this just because I've been doing it for a year now. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into this that you don't really realize. So if you are someone that likes going to the casino every week, every other week, like I do, it's great, but you have to really be ready for those trips that you go when you don't win anything. You can't get a bonus. There are days where I will go, and even with some free play and another 60, $80 on me, I've got anywhere between $100, $130 worth of money to play on. And even playing minimum bets, you will play and play and play and nothing will happen. So you have to be really kind of ready for that. Again, it's hard to play the way you want to play and the way you're kind of adapt to playing as a creator. What I mean by that is I have a system that I've always used. I've been very, very good over the last 5, 6, 7 years of just sort of being able to go in with a set budget, manage that budget. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But when you are creating and you are trying to get those videos and you are trying to sort of record so you at least have something to show, your stop losses, your systems, they kind of go out the door sometimes because you may be doing your system and you've been there for a half an hour. You're down now half your bankroll and you haven't been able to record a single thing. So if you are looking to create a channel and do these types of things and you have the disposable income to do that and you enjoy it, by all means do it. But go in with your eyes open a little bit just to realize that just because you're going and you have the money to play, just be aware that you're not always going to be able to record something. Conversely, if you do record some stuff, I would urge you to put it on anyway. So you'll see me with, I've got another bonus I'm going to be coming out with on a moon. I'll probably be bringing that out Wednesday or Thursday. Just got super lucky, sat down, 5-cent denom, $1.25, hit the bonus right off the bat. First spin, right in. Fantastic. I think I won like $10. So just because you get into those bonuses, you get something going, you get those crazy orbs that come out the first couple of spins, but sometimes you only win like $10, $20. Again, it's a win, so great, but you expect a little bit when you get into those bonuses because it's so volatile, so high to get in there. You can spend 200 times and not get into the bonus, especially Autumn Moon, which is probably more the volatile games than the other ones. So if you're looking for a Dragon Link that's pretty good payoff, but not as high in volatility as some of the other ones, they're all almost the same, but I would have to say stick to your Golden Century, Panda. Those are the two that I would typically say to play just because they do tend to be a little less in the volatility. You'll get to bonuses a little bit more frequently, but it's not always the same. So just be very careful when you do play those games. But I will be putting that video out because I do think it's important that I do a lot of the videos. I gamble a lot, but you should be able to see that. You should be able to see, hey, I got in the bonus, but it didn't work out. It doesn't always work out. That's why when I was at Jack's, did the dumb thing of chasing a bonus. It's that reef bonus where you have 3 different bonuses and it's a must hit by. And I got the top tier bonus, which is must hit by 60, and you get 60 bubbles that come down. Usually if you last that long and you get those bubbles, you end up winning a pretty decent amount of money. I think I won 80 cents. So it's on a dollar bet, 80 cents. So for a bonus that had 10 spins, 60 bubbles. So I think it's important if you are filming, even if you don't get something really good, just still put it up, because again, we all can't have the 200, 400, 800 hand pay videos and make it look like that's all we're hitting on. So if you are, and hopefully that answers some of the questions out there on past videos, if you are looking to do a channel, by all means do it. Just go in with your eyes open a little bit. Don't don't expect it to be, hey, because I'm going to casino and I have this slot channel, I'm always going to be able to film. There have been in the past, when I first started the channel, there's been weeks and weeks of going to the casino where I've been able to film maybe 1-2 videos tops. So just sort of go with that. So that's kind of my little roundabout thing to say on that. Again, if you are watching, I see about 3 or 4 people in here. If you do have questions, please feel free to drop them in. I'll highlight that and answer them, whether it's comp questions, Vegas questions, gambling questions. I don't know everything, so I will answer anything that I absolutely do know the answer to. But that's sort of what this whole thing is about. Again, the channel is just for others to come in, talk, hang out. My channel is based off of going towards your average daily gambler. So someone who goes in with $60 to $100, they just want to have fun. That's my only goal to the casino is, even if I don't win, if I can go in the casino with $80 and I can spend all day there and I leave with 20, that's worth it to me. Just because I can go to Ohio State game, I can go to a Browns game, and I can spend $300-$400 on tickets and food, and it only lasts a little bit. So that's sort of what I do. Oh, effing up. Hey, guys. That is a channel. They did some really, really good sort of, they got their 100 subscribers, so they did this really cool sort of $100 spin. They actually did their first challenge video with another channel. It was really cool to watch. So if you are watching this later, I subscribe to them just because their content is really good. And to be quite honest, the way they edit, mine looks like it's edited by a 4-year-old compared to what they do. So if you like really good edited videos, you like to see funny little clips put into the video, it's smooth, it transitions well, that is a channel I would suggest you go for. I cannot say anything more about them. That their channel is just freaking amazing. You still have to pay money for breath. Sadly, you do. They stopped giving that away. They stopped giving those away. But the cups that you can cry into, those are still free at the stadium. They do give those. They do give those. And they actually will give you a little cup that you can wear. So as you enter and leave the stadium, you can protect that area as things are thrown at you. So, but yeah, the cups for tiers are still there. They are still there and they are free. But now I feel bad for trolling after you said troll away. That's what this channel's for. But as well as anybody who does watch later, feel free to drop in your channel information. Like I said, my channel is just kind of a vehicle for my friends and the other channels I like to sort of get their impressions, their channel views out there so that they get more views. I never expected my channel to get now close to 500. So it'll be really great if we can get some other people some really good views as well. I think it would be crazy if I could get close to 700-800 by the time I get back to Vegas in September. That would be amazing. But yeah, please feel free to subscribe to those guys. Those guys are great. But anyway, so get back on the topic there. Yeah, if you do want to create a channel, please go for it. Just be mindful of that. That's the one thing that I kind of got in. The other thing that I've noticed a lot, and I don't know if you guys want to comment back on that, is, don't get me wrong, I love playing the way I play. I won't change it. Yes, there may be times I bet $1.52, $2.25 bets. If I'm up, I will be more than happy to bet that way. But I have noticed that you have a little bit more of that dopamine rush when you bet higher. even when you're trying to get to that bonus. So you get 2 of the 3 symbols or 5 of the 6 orbs, and you're betting higher. There is more of a rush. So that's something I've been cognizant of lately. And yeah, it looks better on the machine. Like I had a great run on a machine that I was betting $1.50, $2 on that I'll have a video coming out next week for. It's that if you remember the piggy banking game with the 3 pigs, I forget what it's called. But they're 3 sheeps. So I was betting like 2-cent and 5-cent denoms around between $1.50 and $2. But I got the sheep up to 20 and I actually popped it along with another reel. So the rush of chasing that I have noticed is higher. But I do know that that's something that I've had to sort of kind of look at and stop and think about because I don't want that type of sort of feeling that way. So, but if you guys want to comment on that too, it's just I did notice that when I am betting a little bit higher, it does tend to sort of make me want to keep betting that way and get away from my system just because I'm wanting that rush of that hit to come in at the higher bet level, even though I typically have my best wins on a lower denom. For example, there was a new train game that came out, like forget the name of it. I'll probably have that video coming out this weekend. I'm still editing, so I still have about 15 other videos that are in the backlog. So that may come out in a couple of weeks. But I did want to sort of, I just bet minimum on that and won, I think, $200 versus betting $1.50, $2 and winning 50, 60. So even though I'm betting less, I'm winning more. Again, that doesn't mean that that's the sweet spot. It just means that that's just how I got lucky on that spin. So we got a new one in here. Oh, it's Majestic. Jason's in the house. Hey, I saw your stuff over when you were doing the filming with the guys over in Foxwoods for the convention. And that was really, really good. Majestic is another great sort of content creator to watch. I started watching him about probably close to the same time I started watching Gamble Smart, Gamble Safe about a year ago. So he plays a lot of the 3 real stuffs like I like to play. Dance and Drums, I know he loves that game too. It's one of my all-time favorites. He doesn't bet anything crazy and wild. A lot like F and Up, they don't bet super high. They're sort of in that sweet spot that I like to bet at. You know, if I'm up a little bit, I'll go to the higher end. But I mean, he's got some really, really great stuff too, and his channel is really, really taken off. So that's another great channel to sort of watch at. Fox was the Black. Yeah. I know in the member chat, they said, hey, if you want to come out, let us know. This January didn't work out, but that is one that I might want to try and look at going to again if they do have that Slaughtercon again. It'd be kind of cool to see you guys, see some of the other channels that I talk to all the time. See Eric, Jackpot Judo, who I've talked to every once in a while. Be nice to sort of meet them just to sort of say, hey, how's everything going? I don't think I go anywhere as far as getting a booth. 500 subscribers probably doesn't really qualify for that, but I think it'd be fun to hang out for a couple of days. And if anything, just play side by side with a couple of channels that I've always watched. I think that would be kind of a really cool thing, kind of geek out for a little bit on that. Got my 3rd major on Dance and Drums. Jesus. Isn't that grain crazy though? Like, that game, minimum bet, so 88 cents, minimum bet. I think I've done better on a minimum bet Dance and Drums than I've ever done on any other games, with the exception of probably the one time I hit the grand on Rich Little Piggies back at New York, April 2024. Just sat down, put a $20 in while I waited for a drink at 5 a.m. Just spun a couple times and hit the grand for $800. I think cashed out, and the bonus is like $1,117. So, but Dance and Drums has always been, every trip I'm going to look for it. There's a bank of them in the back of Cosmo that I always play. There's a bank in the back of Jack Thistledown I like playing. Those are your go-tos. I think the win sat down and played the minimum bet and won $420 in just a matter of a few spins. So that game is probably the best one if you do like the bonuses, you like a little bit of the higher volatility with the slots play. You're not getting in the bonus all the time, but if you do get in the bonus and you get super lucky, the bonus can be massive. Just over 1,000 in the booth. Subscribers that only watch this TV and never comment, recognize. And has a subscriber that only watches on his TV and never comments, recognize me. That's really cool. I think that's kind of a cool thing is, and again, I see a lot. I'll get some of my videos, a couple thousand views, maybe a couple hundred views. Maybe you might get a comment here and there, but I think it'd be really cool to stop and say, hey, I saw your stuff, or that'd be kind of a cool thing. I've had one person say it to me once after the fact that they put in one of my videos, hey, I saw you playing, and I just said, well, you should have came over and said hi. But I think that's really cool, and I do wish more people would comment, just because I think this space is good for us to have a conversation. That's all that I'm trying to do here, is just connect to people. If you subscribe, great. If you don't, that's fine too, but it'd be kind of nice to have that conversation. Effing Up says, we've got more majors on Dancing Drums than either. I agree. I don't think I've hit the major on it before, but I have hit a lot of giant bonuses on. I've done better on Dancing Drums than on Dragon Link, Lightning Link, Phoenix Link, any other game you can think of out there. Stinking Rich, I've had some good runs, but that's been better. So I think Dancing Drums is, my opinion, the GOAT of all slot machines. I think they do the best job of, we'll make it simple. It's only a certain amount of symbols. Yeah, it could be hard to get into, but once you get into it, it's freaking amazing. It's a drag that you cannot comment on TV. Yeah, that is kind of sucks. Like, I think if you're on a smart TV and you sign in, can you comment? I don't know. Do you guys know that for sure? I know I've signed into the TV to sort of watch every once in a while. And I will on some of the lives. I try to get on a bunch of the Gamble Smart lives. I can log in, but I think I've always commented on my phone. I don't think you could comment on the TV. But you would think you could, though. I mean, nowadays with the technology, you would think you would, but oh well. But Effing Up and Jason Majestic Slots, you guys should absolutely follow each other. It's a really, really good channel. Not any of our TVs we can tap and not comment. You might be right. I've never really even thought about it. That's a good question. Kind of scratching my head. I think the majority of my viewers are in that. I think when I last looked at my demographic, out of the 456 subscribers, I think it showed vast majority were between 55 and 60, which I thought was kind of odd. But maybe, I guess kind of makes sense, because when I do go to the casino, the vast majority of people there are older than me, and I'm 45. So I think that does make sense. But yeah, that'd be still kind of cool to sort of see someone and have them go, hey, gave him my lucky poker chip. Where do you get your stuff like that from? I know Mark and Dave have mentioned it before. I've never paid attention, just because, to be honest, I'm approaching 500, and to be really, really honest, I never thought I'd get above 200 tops. And the channel's kind of doing a little bit better. So I think that might be something I might want to look into. Not now, but maybe in the future, of getting some little lucky poker chips with my QR code on it. So if you wouldn't mind, you don't have to put it here, but if you wouldn't mind maybe later sending me that information, that's something I might want to look into. So I just actually got the studio up, Jason. So I've got the little backdrop. I think it's kind of similar to what Dave used to have, but I got this off Amazon because under SteamYard, you can do a green screen effect, but it looked weird. Even if you moved, it was like a weird AI thing. Your whole face would kind of blur a little bit. It'd be really choppy. So, but what do you guys think? Like, what gives you guys? We've got 2 channels on here that do a lot of really good bets. Do you notice that when you start betting a little bit higher, your adrenaline goes up, you're more amped in? Are you more pensive about it? Like as your bet goes up, do you start feeling like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't be doing this? What do you guys think? That's kind of curious as to sort of what other channels thought. Me personally, like I said earlier in the stream, I do notice that I get a little more amped up. And then I kind of regret it. So luckily I'm only doing that as I sort of go up. And then it's sort of my thing. So I don't know what you guys typically, how you feel about that. I think it's a good question to put out there to see what anybody else was thinking. Here we go. I'm sorry, computer issues. There we go. So anyway, here we go. Jason chimed in. I think that drives into the chase. We're all guilty of wanting to hit big. Bankroll management is key, and to be honest, I get a thrill off winning regardless of the amount. I think that's a pretty good question. I think that's a pretty good way to think about it. I try to do the same thing, but I'm even when I do my 15 spins and my 15 plus fives, I get caught in. I'll admit it. Absolutely, I still get dragged in. So I think that's really key because, yeah, I think that's dead on. Effing up says, I notice now when you bet up and nothing, then lower the bet, hit the bonus, the lower bet. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good strategy too. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's something even I struggle with. And I know I've done multiple videos on, that's why I used to do videos on ceiling and, where we set it. And that's why I kind of adapted it about 3 or 4 months ago to a more 15 plus 5 spins. I put 15 in. If I get my bonus and that bonus gives me back at least half of what my initial bankroll was. So if I put 50 in, I hit a bonus for 25 or higher. I finish my 15 spins and then add 5 and then get the fuck out of there. So that's what I kind of want to do. So, but I will say that there are times when I got caught in it. Actually, this morning I was chasing that 3 sheep game. Again, it's the dumbest thing to do. You get that purple sheep was at 20, which means if you hit the hold and spin bonus, you get 20 free spins before your 3 spins start counting, where you get a coin and then boom, it goes back up to 3. So if it gets up to 20, you could theoretically get like 40 or 50 spins out of the hold and spin. Now, I chased it. Didn't hurt me too bad. Ended up hitting the bonus and did pretty good on it. But I do know that even I get caught up chasing this stuff. Also, remember, confirmation bias will come into play as you spend 90% of your bets at minimum. You mostly get your big ones there. Flip it, and you'll likely see the same. That's probably true. I would say that's absolutely true. I'm trying to get a little bit. Oh, friends, Kelly's in there. Yep. I would say that's true. I've been trying to, I guess what I'm getting at is, as channels, you guys, I know that the trend is obviously we want to see videos where we see big, massive wins because maybe it's our favorite Huff and Puff game. I won't play those hardly anymore. Jason, I'm sure you know why. But, if we're playing a game like that, that's one of our favorites, I want to see, again, for Huff and Puff, I want to see that Diamond Buzzsaw come out with all 3 because you want to go, oh my God, I want to see the palaces. And that's always at the higher end of the bets. So I do know that personally, I've experienced over the last year of sort of feeling a pull to maybe start betting a little bit higher, even though I typically don't, just because in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, well, this is really good bonus and I have fun, but I do have that little voice in the back of my head that goes, how many views do you think this will get me? And I think that's the hardest thing to do as a content creator for this type of space is how do you play smart? How do you still have fun? I mean, because I know when I'm playing, there are times when I won't film the bonus because I want to just enjoy it. I want to really, really just enjoy it. I just want to sit down. I don't have to worry how the camera's looking. I don't want to make sure is everything in frame. I just want to relax and just zone out and enjoy the play. So that's something I've been trying to sort of come to terms with, and I think I've done pretty good because very little will you see me bet really high, and I still enjoy having fun. So Jason says, of course, but I prioritize the game experience for my videos, try to stay true to what I want to do. That's what I've been trying to do. I just want to see what you guys have thought about that trend. I have to say I have seen a lot of your videos. And again, I've tried to comment. It's been crazy the last couple of weeks on a bunch of them. But yeah, I do try to also, like you say, is true to what I'm realistically going to play. So that's what I wanted to work and what I wanted to look at was. But again, now that we have some more channels on here on this live, I want to sort of see what are you guys seeing and really sort of as people watch this later or as people are watching now, what do other channels talk about? How do they do the whole, well, I'm at the casino, I want to have fun. So there's the aspect of what the casino's for. It's not there to win money. We all know that. It's for fun. It's entertainment. It's how much fun. Like I said in the earlier part of the live was, if I can go in with $60 or $80, but I can play on it for 4 or 5 hours, regardless if I walk out with nothing, that's great. I'll spend 10 times that on a Super Bowl, or not a Super Bowl, but a Browns ticket or a Buckeye ticket or something like that. So it's entertainment for me, but it's that sort of balancing act with other channels. What do they do in order to again, like you said, stay true to who you are? But obviously still have fun, but also still try to make it as entertaining for others to watch too. So I think that's what I've tried to do with my channel as well is I'm probably going to be always bet the way I bet. I don't think you'll ever see me bet $10, $15, $20 spins, even no matter how many times I get up. That's not something I'm going to try. I mean, maybe $2, $2.50 a bet if I'm up $300, $400, $500. But I want to sort of stay true to that because I think more important to me, at least, is if the channel takes forever to get 1,000 subs or whatever, I want to at least have kind of a consistent gameplay of, this is how I bet. You can still have fun by betting that. So, but I can't wait for the newer videos to come out. There are a couple of really interesting games that just came out from Blueberry. So I'm just had a lot of fun with those. There was a new one. I didn't film it, but it was fun. It's sort of your 3 pots, but it's with berries. There's like a raspberry, a grape, and a strawberry. And then, of course, they have some of the newer games with 3 different like weasels or foxes, and then there's a wheel. I've got a video on that coming out as well. So I do have to say I have been pleasantly surprised lately with some of the newer games coming out by Blueberry. So that's a game maker that I will probably now, when I go back to Vegas or go to another casino, I will actually hunt those out because I think the gameplay on those is pretty good. The line hits were actually halfway decent. They weren't you get a line hit and it's 10 cents. You got a line hit, and usually I did get my bet back or maybe even a little bit better. So it was fun. Sorry, I missed those comments. Let me read back to you. There comes a point when you have a channel and it's a job. Got to keep the entertainment first. Allow the rest to follow. I think it's really good advice. I really, really do think it's good advice. And that's something I struggle with. That's really good. Collaborative. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I had a lot of fun doing mine with Avo, our Casino Jackpot 777. We did a $200 spin bonus challenge at Luxor last year, and it was fun. So that's a good way of doing that. Like I'm probably going to be doing a little bit more traveling in 2027 for the channel. Just so I know effing up, I'm going to do my best to try and see if maybe something works out to where I can do a quick little trip in Vegas when you guys are in there typically, or make my way out west on a little bit of a journey to do some of those. That's a really good idea. I think it only got licensed in Nevada last year. Maybe. To be honest, outside of, I think, September or October, I think is the first time I've ever even seen a Blueberry game in person. They had one out. I forget the name of it because I didn't play it, but I saw it and I went and looked at it and said, well, that's odd. It doesn't say Aristocrat. It doesn't say Light and Wonder. It didn't even have a plaque on it. I was wondering who made the game, and I sort of looked underneath it, and sort of underneath, just to the right of it, it had a little Blueberry. So I was like, well, is that the cabinet? And I did a little research, and it's a Game Maker. Just because I've always looked around, and typically 99% of the games I'm playing are Aristocrat or Light and Wonder. But I have really, really liked theirs. I think is it Rizzo? They have that monster game out that looked kind of cool. I saw one, played it at the Fontainebleau, and didn't hit anything big on it, didn't even really win on it, but the music was good, the graphics were great, line hits were okay, just didn't get lucky on it. So there's times you play a really fun game that you just don't get lucky on, and that's another maker I'll be looking for too, because I kind of wanted to, I think this year I'd like to sort of try and hunt out more obscure games, ones that you don't really see all the time, even though I typically want to play the games I always play, but I'd like to sort of showcase other ones. Yeah, I got to look for those. They were so fun. We got to see the end of May every year. Okay, end of May. Missing if it goes to September without her beloved bear. Well, I will be there. Fingers crossed. I have to wait to see when my son goes to boot camp. We're waiting to hear back. They've been on a weird sort of, are you going or aren't you going for the reserves? And I think it's because of the shutdowns keep happening. But if it holds true, I will be there in September. Tentatively right now, that Friday before the holiday, and I'll be flying out Wednesday. So should be pretty good. Oh, he got it. That's it. Aruzi. Okay, that's the one. Thank you. I thought of it, but yeah, that's one I want to look at too, because I think those games are kind of cool because they have their own little twists on it. I mean, I think the Monster games still had like a hold and spin feature, but the graphics and the sound, the way they timed everything up, it was a very cool sort of, kind of like if you remember the Munsters game, that one. Again, Jason, you may know, but that's one that I've been hunting down to play. I think the last time I played Munsters was when I was in Vegas back in like 2003, 2004, right before they closed the Riviera. I think I remember playing the Munsters, and they had kind of the same sort of cadence and that same kind of dun, dun, dun noise to it. So that's one I want to try and find. September is actually when I go by myself too. So I try to go twice a year, once with the wife and then once by myself. And I to use my vacation to watch the game. Oh, wait, here we go. Kelly says, Treasure Island has so many. I'm glad you said that because I noticed that they had a lot of the older games. That's the one where I found, obviously, Kelly, I love the, what was it called? I play it all the damn time. Little Shop of Horrors. She was playing the video poker machine, and I was on Little Shop of Horrors and hit a really good bonus. But they actually had a brand new one. It's still the same game, but brand new cabinet. It's like a triple sort of screen there. But they had some really cool games that I had not seen before, mixed in with some super older games, like the original Mystical Unicorn, some of those older games, Bayou on the Gold, some of those weird ones that you probably walk by 1,000 times at other casinos and just never pay attention to. That was a very cool vibe there. That's one I've never stayed at before, but I think I probably will in the next couple of years pick a night or so to stay there. I like the location, but the casino was smaller, kind of smaller, but I did like it too. Treasure Island, that's a really good point. Find the hidden gems in casinos or games that people forgot about. That's true. That's what I want to try and do this year, is because there's a lot of games that I used to play years ago and I just stopped looking for, and I want to get back to trying to find those. Like I said, the original Mystical Unicorn, I think, is one of those games that is sort of like, in my opinion, it's sort of like the is it Diamond Queen, where it's very, very hard to start getting the unicorn, and then you really can get a super good bonus. To this day, I've never been able to hit the Diamond Queen bonus. I play it every trip I go. Don't feed a whole lot of money. I usually play at a park because I believe they still have the 25-cent denomination version. But the Monsters game is awesome. If anybody knows where I can find the Monsters game, I think that would be a reason why I would absolutely go. Like in 2027, if they said, hey, I found one at this casino in Lake Tahoe, I would try to find a way to get to Lake Tahoe for 2 days just so I could try and play that game. So if anybody has it, either later on the comments or in here, if you guys can say, I absolutely know where that game is, please tell me. Yeah, I got to find that. I got to find that bad. I'll be in Vegas in 12 days and then again before the cruise at the end of March. And then for G2E, yeah. Well, good luck in Vegas. If you don't mind saying where you stay in, I typically try to stay mid-strip. Like when I go in September, I'm debating. I have good offers at MGM again, which I don't know why. It's just my offers went down and then they went back up. So I don't know. I'm kind of debating. Kind of want to stay, depending on what the new Cromwell Vanderpump looks like. I may want to stay there. Flamingo is now getting redone, so they should be done with all of their constructions by July. Omnia nightclub will be open by mid-May. So Flamingo's looking pretty good again. I did enjoy it, but I've also got some pretty good offers for Aria and Cosmo. And to be honest, if you want a really good drink, you really can't go wrong with the Aria Gem Bar. If you do get a chance to get there, I think every day but Sunday and Monday, Frenchie's there. He's got probably 300 different type of cocktails. You can't go wrong with Frenchie tea. It's amazing. And G2E is something I would absolutely is on my bucket list to go to. I just don't know. It's so hard with my industry that I'm in. Usually from end of September until the third week of October is the last run of my industry before we shut down for the winter. So it's really hard to get away for that. Going to be in Ohio for beating a slot C-Town, San Antonio. Okay. Well, I'm in Columbus. So if you want to maybe message me on a different place, just let me know like where you're going to be at. Or maybe I can just ask you in the members chat this week. Let me know. Obviously, I don't mind going. I'm in Ohio, so maybe I can meet up with you. It'd be nice to actually see you in person. The little green monsters on that slot. I don't know. Rio has some monsters? Or are you saying that's where you're staying at? Sorry, I'm trying to get new to reading all the slots. But yeah, so let me know. Monsters, Rio, or that's where you're staying. I believe it's going to be in downtown Cleveland. Okay. Well, maybe as you get closer, let me know exactly when. Cleveland, downtown, play the Jacks. Great. That's only about a 2.5 hour drive. So just let me know, man. I mean, it'd be cool to kind of come up and see you. Flamingo just got out of an update that July 1st. All the updating should be done. Ooh. I cannot wait. July 1st. Yeah, they're redoing the lobby. I'm kind of interested because this will be my last year chasing comps. So I hit Diamond Plus in 2025. So this year I'm still Diamond Plus. But for some reason they gave me the celebration dinner again. And obviously I can still use the Diamond check-in, which would be nice. But I think I'm still kind of waiting to hear, but it looks like they are removing the 4 free drinks. Now, someone I know has told me, yes, it's being removed. However, if your level of play was pretty good on your last trip, they'll still honor it. So hopefully, because I would really like to use those 4 free drink tickets, I kind of like to take some friends and go and hit up all the Vanderpumps and try each one. The one at Paris was amazing. Great drinks. I'd like to try them all out. I believe it's going to be in downtown. Oh, I already pulled that up. I'm sorry. No, I'm just staying there. I'll check it out when I have it. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they're redoing the carnival area. They brought in all new slots, and I think it's smoke-free, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what they said on another podcast. It's completely 100% smoke-free there. But they haven't mentioned about bringing anything back. They've teased they may be bringing back either the full or a version of the carnival show. If you remember from way back in the day, hopefully they do bring that back. It'd be kind of cool. June 27th for the Seatown Slot Slam. Okay. Well, then I will definitely step up there just to say, hey, I don't know what the Seatown Slot Slam is. I will check it out. That would be kind of cool. I'll step up there and say hi. I'd rather see 6 zeros on the roof. Joe, you know what? I think until people started actually reporting on it, 6-0 roulette reel was probably a possibility, the way Vegas was going. They snuck the 2, and then they snuck the third 0, which was the logo of the casino. So at Mandalay Bay, it was the M. Bellagio was the B. Circuit's the C. So I think that if not a lot of people and what's crazy is people would play that one and they wouldn't play the 00 roulette, which was usually 2 tables away. But it was just people were playing it. So, I mean, I kind of can't blame the casino. They put this out. They knew the odds were better for them, but they're just like, well, people are playing it. But I am actually good that they went back to the roulette. They were 6-4, that 6-5 that's out now. So most of them are reverted back to the 3-2, which is good. Yeah, that was pretty. Because I could imagine, I could see a casino exec going, you know what? Let's do 4 zeros, and then 6 months later, like Caesars will probably go, let's do 5. And then you'll probably have Golden Nugget or someone going, fuck it, let's do 6. So I could see them doing that. That's funny, but it's true. Yeah. You know what? That's a really good point. Because I was talking to my wife, and we are end of May. Because the way my business is, I have basically 5, 6, 7 days tops I can take vacation because we shut down in the winter. So I have pretty much all of winter to where if something pops up, I don't technically have to be there. Obviously, I make sure someone's covering for me. And then from Christmas Eve through the second, third day of January, I'm off. There is no work at all. So I have to be careful, but at the end of May, I obviously have that 4-day window. We were looking, and I try to plan my trips off of that because I go, oh, well, it'd be really cool if we went to Niagara. But you know what? Unless you go to one of the ones run by the indigenous people, the drinks are going to be $20, $30. And that's why we actually went to Vegas back at the end of December, was because the original plan was to drive up to stay 2 or 3 nights at MGM Detroit because they said you can film here. It'll be fun. They have everything. They've got some really good dining options. But when you look at it, the drinks were $20 to $30 a drink. So I'm going, well, yeah, I'm going to save money on the flight. But when we sat down and did the math, we would end up spending more money on drinks than we would have on the flight to Las Vegas. So that's why we went to Las Vegas. That is crazy. Yeah, and yeah, I do. I'm with you. I do plan my trips like that when I'm going to go gamble somewhere. Like I said, when I started with Niagara, was we looked at going to Niagara because I had some good comps with Caesars, but they don't do it that way. So, however, I have heard that the Caesars in New Orleans, if you are at the sports bar area, you can still get comp drinks based off of your play. Just not on the floor. So, yep. So that's something I look at as well. Is do you guys do that too? I know F and Up said that I do that. Is I really want to check out this casino, but then I do the math of, okay, I just saved $400, but I realize if I don't drink a lot, but if I get 2 drinks, my wife gets 3 or 4 drinks, there's $100, $150. Then I got tipped for those drinks too. Now I'll $160 to be on the low side. Times that by 3. That's a plane ticket. Now if they only comp the transplants. If you have a really good host, they might. But yeah. God, Vegas is so good. That's why it's my go-to. Now, I do want to get out to Reno and Laughlin. Those are 2 for sure I want to check out just because I'd like to sort of see that. I know probably more Laughlin than Reno because I do believe, again, I've never been there before, but I do believe the Laughlin casinos, they're a little bit more walkable to get to, sort of like AC is. If you're in the right area, you can, like if you're at the Caesars, you can walk to Bally's within just a matter of minutes. I think Laughlin's the same way, the way it's laid out. Don't quote me on that. I don't know that for sure, but I did look at sort of Reno, and I noticed Reno has some really good resorts, but it looked like all of them were one place. You probably have to get a cab or a drive to go somewhere else, and that's sort of why I've never really stayed there before. That and Reno 911. So, my mom and dad loved Reno. That's something I've always wanted to check out. So, I mean, obviously, you have some input on that. If you do know if those are walkable from each other. But yeah, Reno's one to go to. West Windover, Nevada, I think also is sort of walkable between some of the casinos. Golden Nuggets down that way. They have a couple of other ones. I do know on this Vegas trip, I do want to spend a day. It'll probably be that Saturday before some of my friends get in town. I do want to sort of check out some obscure casinos. I do want to check out the Rainbow Casino. Very, very local, of course, but they still give out free food, and like they'll have on, I think it's Fridays, they will actually come by your slot machine as you're playing, and they will hand you big brownies or a chocolate cake or a slice of hot pizza, and it's just comped. It's just, you hungry? Here you go. And so it's sort of kind of old school like that. And it's sort of one I'd like to check out. So if you guys later in the comments, please let me know if there's a specific local spot you'd like to check out. I do want to start getting out there to Vegas where I spend a day checking out 2 or 3 different locals spots. Obviously I want to try and stay probably more Summerlin, Henderson, tops. I don't think I want to go super up north. I don't want to go anywhere super north past downtown, where you start getting into where Chica Bonitas is or something like that, to where if you get out of the casino at the wrong time, you're probably going to have to duck because something's flying at you. Oh, here we go. Not walkable. That's what I was worried about. I think Laughlin is walkable, but you confirmed that Reno is not. But it is one I would like to do. And Jason says, I enjoy the Florida casino scene around my cruising casino at Diana Beach, and content filming friendly. It has a great staff. Working on putting something together for meet up there. That would be super cool. That would be really, really cool. I have never been to the casinos in Florida before. I have a Hard Rock here in Cincinnati, but they are 100%. They don't want you filming. So I had a friend tell me if you film in there, he saw a guy get kicked out. Just he didn't put the phone down fast enough, even though it was just one warning, and they kicked him out. So that's kind of cool. If you do get that sort of meetup, that'd be really cool. Please feel free to post in any of these chats as well. Later on, we might get 30 or 40 more people watching. If someone's in the Florida area, let's send them your way. There were a few casinos on the way to the Grand Canyon that were awesome. I have to research which ones and let you know. Let me know, because I want to sort of see a couple of those old school, like what's that one? Joker's Wild is being redone, but like Poker Palace is reopening. That's when I remember going back to in my very first trip back in 2020 or back in 2000, 2001. That's one of the ones I went to. So I kind of want to sort of that vibe of smaller, super old school, a lot of locals, because I do know I've had a lot of fun with the locals versus other tourists. Personally, I'd rather be surrounded by other locals. They're super cool and chill. Everyone's there to just have fun. Tourists, even though I am one, tend to be more of kind of, lack of a better term, dicks. So yes, please research that for me. I appreciate that. Well, like I said before we end everything, we've gone actually a little longer than I usually do, and that's thanks to a lot of you guys being in here. But please, if you watch this end of that, there are some really good creators here tonight. Jason with Majestic Slots is great. I've been watching his content for a while. Effing Up, I started watching them on TikTok, and they have slot thought of the day, and it is hilarious. And then they also have some really, really great content. They are probably 10 times better than I am at editing. So I'm still learning, getting a little bit better at it. But they are really, really good. So if you like higher quality edited videos, they do a really good job with that. Kelly says, you need to go to the casino at Niagara Falls. Those school slots always had great luck there. Okay, let me know. Obviously, you can text me later. Let me know which one, because we're still kind of leaning towards going to Niagara at the end of May. I do know my wife does want to see the falls and probably stay on the Canadian side. So if you do know like where, I would absolutely want to try and spend a day checking that out. Great stream. Have a good night. Yeah, thank you so much for jumping in. It's very cool to have a larger creator like Majestic Slots on. So, like I said, 27th of June, I'll keep my eyes open. I will pop up to Cleveland just to say hi. Obviously, just sort of say hi and hang out. So, keep going strong with your channel. It's amazing. Okay. Yeah, please do. And if you and Steve are up that way, please feel free to stop by. So, but again, great live tonight, guys. I know we've had more people watching. Just didn't say anything, which is fine. But I really appreciate everybody on here sort of commenting. And it's been a while since we've had a good back and forth with this. So it'd be really, really cool. Oh, someone's not. Well, I'm at work. Yeah. Thank you for hanging in there with us. I appreciate it. But yeah, like Majestic, Effing Up, you guys should subscribe to each other. I think you guys have very similar channels. Personality-wise, you guys are really great. So I think it'd be really, really cool. Live streamings are more important. They are. That's probably the main reason what's helped my channel grow. Is my live streams. Jacks have always gotten about 12,000 views and usually translating about 40 to 100 subscribers off of that. So live streams, but they cost a lot. So that's the one thing I think people don't realize sometimes when you're live streaming at the casino. That's that's 3 or 4 times the budget I usually take to the casino for a daily trip, just because I have to keep people entertained. I do want people to sort of like the channel and subscribe. So, oh, look at that. already subscribed to them. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate that. Seriously, you guys have some really good content. It's nice to sort of have channels sort of meet and do that. So that's the whole purpose of that, is smaller channels, have fun. We have a good fun back and forth live, and sort of get exposed to other people. Kelly has some great information. She's probably been going to Vegas a hell of a lot longer than I have. So if I say something and Kelly comes back and tells me something else, listen to her. She's probably right. So, all right, everybody. You guys have a great night. Again, I'll have some posts coming up soon. No live next weekend. I've got some family stuff going on, but the following weekend, I will be going live from either Jack's Casino in Thistledown, or I'm still waiting to hear back from the Penn here, Hollywood Casino. They are expanding their YouTube channel, and they have reached out to where I may be partnering with them soon to at least be allowed to film and do some other stuff for them. But again, I'm sure Majestic, Jason, you know as well, that process can take forever. Like if you remember back in the day when you tried to get permission from MGM, it was usually 2 or 3 months to get a response from them, unless you were a really, really big channel. But we'll see. So either I'll be here in Columbus at that, or I'll be up in Cleveland at the end of February, 1st of March. So I'll let everybody know. Again, thank you, everybody. You had a blast tonight. Really, really fun. Sorry I can't do it next weekend. The following weekend we will, and then starting going forward, I'll be sort of changing the channel as far as when the lives are on Sunday. So if you guys want to later, let me know. I'm probably going to be going Sunday around 10 a.m. just to get more people in. If you prefer the 7:30, I'm fine. I don't mind hanging out with my friends here. Even if it's just a couple of us, it's fine. But again, have a good night. Have a great week. If you are going to the casino later this weekend and the weekend, please have fun. And I will talk to you guys all soon. Bye.